I just want to finish up, and we can even perhaps, or you can even perhaps give a little teaser for the next one. So you ran for, or you wanted to. No, this is
No, you're right.
This is super cool.
This is.
And you ran to be the mayor of the Plateau, Montreal Plateau.
did.
This was a couple years ago.
5 years ago.
Geez, 5 years already?
4 years ago, I think so. It was 5 years during COVID, or 4 years during COVID.
What did you learn about municipal politics or politics in general? This is a super broad question.
Yeah,
we can start scratching the surface a little bit.
I think that I hear your question, and I
Yeah.
will answer my own question.
Rule number one of being a politician.
Yes, I hear what you said, and now I will answer my own way.
Yeah.
No,
That's actually, by the way, like that's one of the first.
Did you
things
hear about this politician in New York? The guy.
What happened?
The guy. He's a Republican, but he ran. He said that he would like worked at Goldman Sachs and Citigroup and all these crazy things.
Fake.
It was all fake. His whole CV was fake.
I mean,
and they caught him.
Not the first time.
No,
this
but
happened.
it's hilarious. Like the depths. He said he had a charity that saved thousands of dogs. Never had a charity.
Oh
Like,
my God.
guy was pretty questionable.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Dog
pretty
charity.
Pretty questionable dude. But he's like, I'm still gonna run. He won this seat. They can't.
He still won.
He won, and he's not.
Okay, they found out after he had already won the seat.
And he's not. And he's in Washington at the House of Representatives. He refuses to resign. Kind of crazy.
Politics. It's so greasy.
It's super greasy. So
yeah, how was Montreal politics?
Oh, well, I'm gonna start by saying how I got there.
Okay.
I'll say how I ended up in that position.
Yeah.
You know, there's like that there's like that like audio tidbit on TikTok. It's like, and this is when I realized it all went wrong or whatever. You know what I mean? Like there's a reason why I ended up there. So when we first opened up the bars and restaurants, I was invited to run for the Merchants Association, to be on the board of executives for the Merchants Association of Saint Laurent. I've worked at the SDBSL, which is the largest merchants association in Montreal, which makes it one of the largest ones in Canada. So we represent, I think, 10,000 businesses. We have a $2 million a year budget, all to like raise awareness about I think maybe more than that, but all to raise awareness about our street, what goes on, and support the merchants and businesses there. I'm now the VP of that board, but that's how I first kind of got into politics, because we deal a lot directly with the borough and a lot with like elected officials, because we need to ask for permits and we need to ask for them to change the laws or to give us government support, whatever it might be. At the same time, I'm the music director for the art festival in Montreal, which is the Mural Festival. And we're actually the largest art festival in Canada and the largest street art festival in North America. So I do all the music programming for them as well. Funnily enough, maybe this might be a little nepotistic, but the SDBSL is one of the major partners of the Mural Festival because it happens on Saint Laurent, so we finance them quite a bit. I've obviously been very implicated in both the festival and the board now for close to 10 years, and it was through those networks that I met the mayor at the time, Denis Coderre. We hit it off. We really got along. At the time, I think I was like 25 or 26 years old when we first met, maybe younger. I think we first met, I was like 23. We became friends until I was about 26, and that's when he asked me, it was 26 or 27 was when he asked me to run for office. And I was like, Denis, I don't know. Like, I did study political science. He said, listen, you got to run against Luc Ferrandis, who I had had some negative experiences with. He since had a nervous breakdown and resigned. Guy's a bit of a character. And he said, you just have to run against him. I just want a young candidate, but I don't really think you have a chance of winning this race. He's the head of the opposition, and I think you'd be a good kind of balance. And this was an election that Denis was expecting to win outright. The election circuit starts, and the media, Denis had made a couple decisions that we disagreed on that I wish he would have chose otherwise, but I think that the media really got him for. The Pitbull ban was like a weird choice. I did not agree with that. I felt that it was going to alienate a lot of people, and the interesting thing was that it wasn't even that's not even for him to make. Like that's a provincial decision. It doesn't need to be municipal. Like he could have just been like, oh, that's up to the province. Like I don't need to involve. I'm sorry that this happened to this woman, but like I'm not going to ban these dogs, right? He chose taxis over Ubers. Now, he did that because he wanted to ensure that the section of the population that taxi drivers are a part of continue to support him because he already had a lot of population in that demographic.
Yeah.
What he failed to realize is that by choosing that, he was alienating all the people that used Ubers that were arguably way more than the taxi thing, right? And the young people and this and that. And then he made a couple other decisions where he didn't talk about the e-race and all these. He made a couple weird, he chose some weird talking points, put it that way. And the media just started hammering him nonstop. Well, all of a sudden, I had to get myself in the ring. It wasn't so much just, hey, I want you to just sit there. It's like, Zach, I need you on this radio show. Or, hey, man, we're going campaigning today. Or, hey, I need you to be beating the path. And, you know, shout out to Nate. From the beginning, he's like, this is a fucking bad idea. This is a terrible idea. It's like, you're not going to have any time for our shit. Nate, I got this. He was right. I had no time. I was completely overworked. We had too much shit going on. He never wished me good luck. Day of the election, man never wished me good luck. He was right, though. And it was an incredible, it was an incredible learning experience. I'll say on one hand, the thing I felt disappointed about was that when we were running the campaign, when I signed on, I was expecting to maybe have a little bit more of an infrastructure and a stronger campaign manager and really like more funding to kind of do advertising and things like that. Like that wasn't really there. Maybe I was holding myself to more of like an American political standard rather than a Canadian municipal standard. It's one mistake I made. The other thing that really blew me away though was just how much power municipal politics holds. They decide everything. You think that it's not a big deal to be a city councilor. They decide noise ordinances. They decide permits. They decide how your streets get repaired, if they get repaired, where your money's going. They spend your tax dollars. These random politicians who are often getting into politics, and I don't want to knock them, because they don't have other things going on. And that's where I think we have a huge issue in Canadian politics right now, is that we both love politics. We talk politics all the time. Sidebar, we talk politics all the time. Neither of us, I tried it. I'll tell you straight up, I ain't doing that again. They don't pay enough to get good people to get involved. So one of two things happens when you don't pay enough. You get somebody who's underqualified for the job because they're willing to do something that's very hard for not the right amount of money, or you get somebody come in who's going to try and steal money from you, or ingratiate themselves by their position, whether that's through, I'm not saying everyone's taking bribes, but, you know, supporting their friends, a little bit of nepotism, et cetera, et cetera. We have a huge issue in Canada right now where we have an incredible surplus of amazing, young, intelligent, educated people, and I will say none of them I speak to, at least not enough of them, are implicating themselves in municipal politics. There is nothing that speaks more to your day-to-day life than who is running your city hall. You would be shocked if I could tell you all the things that they control. You'd be blown away. And on episode 2 of the Freemium podcast with Zach Maklovich.